My fellow Slivers across the multiverse, welcome back to your one and only trustworthy Hive. I've mentioned before that the first formats I ever played were Legacy and Modern. Thanks to that, I met some amazing players and all of them were pretty darn competitive. In fact, it took a long time for most of us to get into Commander. When we finally did, our playgroup was pretty savage, I swear. There was no social contract, no talking before games, we just treated Commander as if it was any other format. So obviously, things would get more and more degenerate every time we played, because no one was willing to be left behind in the arms race. One day, I kid you not, two of us finally arrived with EDH decks at the same freaking time. And you know what? Because we were all very much alike in terms of mindset, no one cared. No one complained. The banter was next level hilarious. And even if we had reached the point of playing EDH, we still had tons of fun. However, we also like challenging ourselves from time to time, since most of our decks cannot possibly get more degenerate unless we start playing with no ban list and Black Lotus or Mox and Proxies. I wanted to share some of the ideas and stuff we constantly do in my own playgroup to keep things fresh and exciting. And I hope this helps your playgroups, the playgroups of my fellow Slivers, to get much more out of your EDH experience in general. So, let us begin. Precons, slightly altered Precons only night. This one was probably my favorite. Once a week, you can have a bunch of games where no one is gonna be playing Mana Crypt or Rhystic Study or Demonic Tutor, because everyone must use whatever completely unaltered precons they have. Gotta say, I don't actually have a lot of precons. The only ones I've ever bought are Draconic Domination because I love dragons, Merciless Rage because I wanted to build Carrick, Enhanced Evolution because I knew Saxara would be CEDH level, and Timeless Wisdom because, come on, you know exactly why. The ones from Commander 2020 are actually extremely fun to play right out of the box, in my opinion, even if the Gabi deck is kinda weird and clunky. If completely unaltered precons seems way too restrictive for your taste, try slightly altered precons. In that case, you and your playgroup can determine what the restriction is going to be. Maybe everyone will only be able to switch 5 or 10 cards from the precons, maybe those 5 to 10 cards must not break a price limit, maybe everyone is gonna have to take out Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting SWAT out of the precons and run something terrible instead. Believe me, playing without all the fast mana and broken enchantments and counter spells and tutors will return you to your roots. And it will probably force you to improve your gameplay even if just by a little bit. No infinite combo decks. This one is just a classic, I think. People like to pretend that infinite combos are a thing only filthy CEDH players or tryhards do, and that is just not the case at all. I've played at tables where, yeah, maybe the combos were like 23 mana in total and needed like 5 cards, but they were infinite nonetheless. Working on your aggro, mid-range or control chops at a commander table is usually quite the workout for your decision-making and sequencing skills. Especially because, if you fail, there's no "oh
Look, I drew Vito after you got rid of Sanguine Bond, haha I win"
to save you. Wacky, yet not entirely meme-ish decks. I know there's chair tribal, ladies looking left or right tribal, and all kinds of meme decks out there. That's not what I'm referring to in here. You can do that too, by the way, it is funny as hell. But right now, I'm talking about themes that will make your playgroup really work on those deck building skills. A couple we've tried in the past that were actually quite fun include only modern legal cards, only pioneer legal cards, everything must be even CMC, everything must be odd CMC, no cards over X CMC, this one gets crazier and crazier the smaller the X, by the way, etc, etc. Let me know if you have a fun deck building restriction you've applied with your own playgroup in the comments below. Alternative ban list. This one is yet another classic one, I believe. But let me tell you, constructing alternative ban lists from scratch is really interesting, challenging to do correctly, and it will lead to some very different experiences. It will also broaden your perception of Magic and bans in general. Last year, before the end of the world, my nearest local game store started an EDH league with an alternative ban list that sought to attract experienced and newer players alike. This ban list included most of the fast mana stuff and things like Demonic Consultation, as well as CEDH greatest anime characters of all time, Thassa's Oracle, Gaze Wielder of Mysteries, Thrasios, etc, etc. Big boys like Griselbrand or Primeval Titan were actually legal in this list. At least at first. It turns out they shift the metagame pretty easily, especially Griselbrand. It was quite an interesting league and experiment, and even if a lot of people hated the list, most players who joined the league had a lot of fun playing and deck building in a what-if sort of universe. Papa Sliver here won that league, by the way. As you can see, all of these things that many other Slivers across the multiverse and myself have implemented from time to time in our own playgroups are just basically Rule 0. You can shape your EDH experience into anything you want it to be. That's very important to remember, and there's many ways of accomplishing such a thing. I guess that's why Commander has become the most popular format now, huh? You simply cannot shape Standard into being fun most of the time, you know? That is doomed. And that's it, my fellow Slivers. Those are some of the things you can do with your EDH playgroup to spice things up. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, leave a comment below and click on the notification bell so you never miss new stuff. Above all, remember to share our content with other Slivers across the multiverse. That is truly the best way in which you can support your Hive. Take care, my fellow Slivers. We'll gather again on the next video.